everybody to the Creative Moment season finale of season 3, episode 10. I'm Dante Bullhauer, photographer.
Jamie Bullhauer, writer.
And this is a podcast that talks about all things creativity. So let's dive right into it in season 3, the finale. Today, we are talking hard questions. The difficult questions that we have to answer as our respective industries. We have both written them up unpreviewed for each other. So do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. I didn't write mine up.
Okay, I did.
That's okay. All right, so I'll hit you with an interesting one. What is the best photo opportunity that you've missed?
The best photo opportunity that I've missed. There's a lot of times that I wish I had my camera and I don't, and I'm like, But then there's a lot of times that I appreciate not bringing it.
Yep.
If I'm being corny, I didn't take any photos of her with my camera when my puppy was, when I got her when she was 8 weeks old. That sounds super dad-like, and I don't like that.
Dad.
So that's not my official answer.
Okay.
I'll probably, there's a lot of times just throughout the seasons that I'll see stuff that I'm like, I want to go take photos of that, and I just don't, because I'm like, oh, it's a hassle. I could be doing other things.
Yeah.
I could be working on other stuff. If there was one time, I would probably say the spring of my senior year, driving down, Price 2nd Street, the flowers on the sidewalk were like just blooming. It was some point in May. They were really white. And I thought of this super cool photo of someone like walking down with the petals blowing off the tree. And I never pursued that photo because I was like, whatever. It happens every spring. And 2 years later, it's still like a photo that I'm like, oh, that'd be cool photo. So that's probably to this point a photo that I wish I would.
Interesting that the idea that next year it'll be there too. Yeah.
Just and it's been 2
taking
years
for
and I
granted,
still haven't done it.
Or the opportunity for with Mocha, some opportunities are only.
Well, she's gonna. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
There's a lot. There's a lot of photos that I wish I would have taken that I didn't. But okay. I have 6 written down. I have to choose 3. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing 3 hard questions each. We didn't say that at the beginning, actually. We just said questions.
I'll start on easy mode.
Oh, okay.
What was the lowest / hardest point of your writing career and why?
Oh, no, that's interesting, especially with the...
With our recent rant on the poetry slam.
Yeah. But that actually isn't the writing. I'm going to give the interesting question of when I actually, as a young dad, didn't really continue coming off of college, and actually and even though it's old school self-publishing, I had self-published my first collection of poetry and had said and then in a sense fatherhood and job and all that time, and that was kind of that same vibe. Well, I'll get to it and I still had ideas, still had things going, but just kind of let it go and didn't pursue it when I was just on that cusp of maybe good things happen, and then let life take over. And we've actually addressed that in a couple of different ways in the creative, that it is it's a hard balance, and I don't regret it, I don't but I was still learning Because now I write more, and I've got more kids. I've got more like,
Got
you know what I'm saying? Like
3 times as many kids as you had. Yeah.
And so it just, and being a young father and learning that stuff, I didn't quite understand balance and that I could do things, and stuff. And so I just missed a lot of years there, because it was years. It wasn't just a season or something. It was a number of years that I actually really didn't write much. I still wrote poetry and scratch, but it just, I just
Like a couple poems a year, or like
what? Not much. I mean, I was just in father mode and job mode, and was head football coach, my second year at Pawnee City and stuff, and so. Yeah, it just was that hurdle that all creatives have, in the sense that when you don't have it as your livelihood, that time and responsibilities and stuff can overtake it. So I know I missed some opportunities. I missed some chances, and so.
Okay, so follow up. Do you feel that you have caught up, at least emotionally, writing to that point, or do you feel that point in your life is just kind of in terms of your writing career, like a gap? It's a
gap. It's a gap, and now I'm a different writer that I've done, but maybe that did spur like me teaching myself all these poetic forms and doing, maybe had spurred some of that. But that's the hard part of it. It's over. I will not get, but so I'm now writing all kinds of different, things and stuff. So
gotta wait till everyone's out of the house.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Question 2. What do you want to be most respected for in regards to your creative world?
Okay. It's kind of creative, kind of not. I want to be respected for the way I treat people, and the way specific, like in this realm, like clients, just other media people. I want to be respected for the quality of work that I did and all that stuff. The things that everybody wants to be respected for. But most of all, I want to be remembered as like the guy that treated people well, treated other people in the media rooms well, treated every client well. Like, the best testimonial I could get from a client is, you were so fun to work with, and all, not your work is amazing, all that. Because there are several photographers and stuff that I know that have gotten testimonials of, oh yeah, like your stuff is great, but it's really hard to work with you because of just your work style, different things like that. And so I want to be respected for not only like the quality and stuff that everybody wants to be, but the person that I am during the shoots, and the personality that I maybe bring out of the clients or the other media people, things like that. That's what I like. If I ended my career and people said, yeah, he was great to work with, alongside of, or for, whatever, that would be the biggest compliment out of all of them. So I mean,
and I think I kind of see that, just thinking of, because senior photos and stuff just finished up, but you're getting started on next, and seeing a couple of the different shots. There's one with a baseball catcher, and the ball was in the air. Yep. And I can see you can't create that kind of creativity without having a connection to the client. Yeah. Because sometimes you might ask them to do, or and knowing their personality and things like that.
You can tell if it's awkward between the photographer and the client. You like, there's just, if you're a photographer, you can just kind of tell, like, yeah, they weren't natural in that motion or pose or whatever.
Yeah, that's that magical part, that tone of our artwork. But that's where I see, and you're also not afraid to, because I just know I'm just trying not to say their names because we don't, of some very personal senior photos of the hobbies and things that they really love, that I don't think other or just boxed photographers would ever do,
Yeah.
because it's like, this is how I do that. I don't know. But that's a really very interesting. And
Well, and there's a lot of photographers that I feel gear more towards what would look good for my Instagram and my portfolio. What haven't I done yet that I can add to, versus what does the senior want in their photos?
because it's their memory.
Yeah.
It's their year.
Yeah, and that's what I always tell them. They're like, do you want me in this jersey, in that jersey? Do you want me in that? And I'm like, they're your photos. Like, whatever you want most, that's what we should do. It's not about my Instagram post, or it's not about what I think. Like, obviously I have an opinion, like, okay, that looks terrible, we don't do that. But it's your memories, you're paying for it. It should be what you're most proud of, what you feel most comfortable in, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Kind of their stories,
Yes.
too, which we had talked about. Okay.
Let's see. I'll save the hardest one for the last one. Okay. At what point would you have felt that you have made it? Whatever that is. At what point would you feel you're like, I've made it?
And we've talked about this a little bit of me and lots of personal things are happening. We're not going to get into that, but we know, and the importance of our time and stuff like that. I will make it. I will be honest. I will make it when somebody walks up to me and goes, "Aren't you the poet Jamie Bullhauer?" That's all I want. Really, honestly, it would mean I'd probably sold some books. But I know that I am more than the poet. Okay, but nobody seems to see me yet as a poet or writer per se, or blogger. It's just I'm not trying to be egotistical. It's really hard to explain, but I think everybody does. When you take pride in your work and you want to be recognized for that. So when that kind of happens, when somebody comes
when
up,
a stranger comes up and says, "Are you Jamie Bullhauer, that guy that I wrote
poet,
that poem?"
Or that I just Yep.
Okay. Interesting. even if it's a long distance relative, or I don't know, just somebody that you don't know comes up to you and says, "Are you the poet Jamie Bullhauer?"
Yep. That would. So, okay. Whoo. Ready?
Am I? I don't know.
Oh, all right. Where do you think you'd be if we never bought you that camera for Christmas?
Okay. I attribute a lot of my talks to that camera. So, okay, if you don't know, a little backstory. Sophomore year, my parents bought me a point and shoot camera for Christmas. Super basic, didn't do a whole lot, but I attribute it
more than
it did more than my phone.
We were trying to
and it was at the time it was miles ahead of what I had ever shot with or ever experienced. I had always what I would do before that is I would go out and put out a lawn chair, put my phone up on it, press record, play basketball for a little bit, and then take the best screenshots
shared a
of
photo
the video. Yeah. And be like, "Oh, this is sick." Bullhauer Antela, and post them on Instagram. I've archived them all now, so don't go back and look because they're all deleted. Without that camera, I feel like right now I'd be in college, probably for some sort of. I feel like I'd still,
because you still had the school's equipment. You did, but it wasn't yours. That's what we
and
really.
Before I got that camera, I had never touched the school's equipment or things like that. I probably would have gotten into Strive maybe junior, senior year, because I got into that program a year early because I was so involved in it. So I feel like I'd probably be in college studying what I want to become now, And I feel like I still would have eventually became like a business owner just because I feel like that's my like personality. But I definitely like, I don't think I would have worked for Strive. I don't think I would have gotten that NSAA contract. I wouldn't have my own place right now. I think that I would be about like 4 years behind on where I am now, and I'm only like 2.5 years into this journey anyway, and so I'd be even farther behind where I am now. And I feel like eventually I might have got there, but it would have been a very different path, just because I was already doing creative things.
Yes, but the phone was just not.
Yeah. And I didn't even take photos. I took videos and then screenshots and tried to manipulate that. It would have taken forever, like a lot longer for me to learn Photoshop and video editing and stuff without that camera. And so it just would have put me so much farther back. And the reason that I think that I'm successful now is because I'm so far ahead of where like the other people in my like age group, competition level, whatever, are at. So it would have put me kind of like on par or behind where I would have been. And there's a lot of days that I wake up and I'm like, I'm pretty blessed to be able to wake up in my own place, work for myself, be able to sustain a living based on just me clicking a button. Like,
okay, that's not that.
No, it's not that. But
some people think.
Yeah, a lot of people think that. But whatever. I think I would have eventually got to this point.
Yeah,
but I think I would have been
too. But yeah, you would be
just that much more behind or like on par with the competition. It would have been that much harder to get. And we talked about like the Outliers book, that stuff.
Yep.
That the NSAA contract wouldn't have been there. The Strive job wouldn't have been there. All this stuff.
And thinking of it, I kind of knew, I think, your answer, but it's still that getting that we wanted you to have the tools yourself, and going out and taking photos and doing the crazy, at the beginning,
I immediately started a photo challenge. I went head first into the pool.
Yeah, and that's a part of the creative life, is the time, the tools, and the opportunities. When those all come together at the right moment, and not a right moment, but just the opportunity. I think that is what gets lots of people excited, and get the chance and being recognized, and but without that, or sometimes going to teach yourself, because you did, because we don't have a photography class at school. You still have to go and do things. You still have to learn. You still have to find your opportunities.
Well, and that camera did give me if I would have went to Brickyard with just my phone and taken photos, I would have just subconsciously felt unjustified to be there. But since I had a camera, I'm like, okay, I can go here. Like, I'm a photographer now. I have my own camera, and I can take these photos. And it's not like, it helped me kind of push over the hump of, do I like taking photos, or am I a photographer? Like, is it kind of a hobby thing, or is it part of who I am?
Yep.
And I think that it expedited that jump.
And just because of your journey, I understand. Like, I obviously just have a camera on, in my phone, and I'm all like, this, I can't take that photo. Like, I get now that I can't do that. It's just not going to turn out because I don't have the tools and stuff like you have, or I, tell mom, like, wish you had Dante's camera right now. Like, that would be, and that's that perfect storm type of thing. So.
Yeah, and like with phone stuff, I wouldn't have ever gone to the computer to edit photos. That like
Because you did it a lot.
Yeah, I edited stuff on Visco for the longest time, and it was like, that's sick. Look at these presets. Like,
look at that filter.
Yeah, I'm like, boom, done. One click,
Yep.
and it's a perfect photo. Look at that park bench. Yeah.
Oh.
So I probably would have got here. This podcast would have been 5 years later.
Yep.
That's the story of that. Okay. I have a lot of hard questions. I gotta choose one. Oh, I really want to ask all three of these. We may have to do a part 2 to this in season 4 sometime.
Yeah, because I have other questions too, but
yeah. Okay.
Go ahead and ask it. You got one that must be just...
Okay. At what point would you, like, what defining moment would you say, I can't write anymore? Like, it's not working. I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. Like, what? And if you've watched our previous episodes,
you went negative.
I know. Like, we talked about the poetry slam and our little rant session in like episode 8, I think it was. At what point would you just say, like, I can't? Because obviously we're in a little different camps. Like, this is my living. It's not his.
Yeah, and we talked also about fear and because I think all creatives, to a degree, especially when you step out and when you get to do some of your own photography. You know, you mentioned that people like your nature ones, like, and those are the ones that you
no engagement. It's like,
but that's like the one. And so there have been some times,
and we've had conversations like. Not that you're gonna give up, but like
what would actually finally because I don't want to cop out either in that sense, but also meaning I will never stop writing type, But see, here's the ironic part, and here's the beauty of creativity. And not to get off on the side, because we already talked about artificial intelligence and stuff like that. But as we've talked about, that creativity is a reflection of who we are. That's kind of what we've always stood as a little bit of our definition. So for writing, especially in poetry and stuff like that, sometimes it's those negative, deep valleys that generate some really strong writing. So if I ever hit a really hard low, I'm probably going to write about it and bring myself back up.
I have nothing to say. Blog post.
Yeah, I know. It's going to sound like a cop-out, but I probably don't think I would ever stop writing. It is now.
Okay, so if I flip that kind
but the pursuit, I might just at a certain point, because it's not the writing part. It is actually the energy and time and all that takes to finally get people to recognize me as a poet. And I'm working on the newest collection. We talked a little bit about the cover for that. I guess, honestly, it would be even on social media. Here's the positive of it. If I actually start making some content and there ends up being no interaction, like just nobody, all I'm getting is crickets, and maybe every once in a while, but like it gets to that level, it feels like crickets, then I would probably just say, okay, I'm just going to let it go. And I would probably still write, but I would stop
posting and pursuing ventures.
Because even like as we've Teach Me Tuesday video is coming for the Move Me Poetry community. I was scheduled for this week, so I did kind of a live one, and so I'm still I'm still in the midst of the energy and the expression and doing that stuff. So, but it would be like if I made one of those Teach Me Tuesday lessons and like everyone's like, oh, okay. Then I'd be like, all right, gotcha. I see.
Yeah.
That's what it probably would take, which doesn't mean that it can't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, social media in regards of, that alone, and self-publishing, or any creative who may be an artist, even photographer. If you're just starting out, you have to be prepared for a lot of time and energy to get momentum. A
lot of your starting efforts are going to feel wasted, like unfruitful, because you're trying to build up like a foundation. Maybe one post only gets like 2 followers, but those 2 followers might stick around.
Yeah.
And then once it builds to 5, 10, 20, whatever, those 2 followers matter.
Yeah. And then there's a whole and people talk about how to, build your audience and what you should do, and then your spirit of what you're creating. And it's hard. So anybody who's, even if you're a veteran, it's hard to maintain. Yeah. But since you're wanting to be creative, everybody says just be creative, but it's not. It's a lot of hard work because, again, we've talked about unpopular opinion. Everybody creates for a reason. Yes, some of it's self-expression, but it's because of the other people.
Yeah,
it is. It's the readers. It's the viewers. It's the because you're getting that your expression, whatever artistic expression it is, has made a bridge, made a connection, and other people appreciate and see or read or whatever and go, I understand. I like that. Whatever. And so it takes a lot of hard work to do that.
So it would be when
I get crickets
just
for a while. Yeah. I
just nothing comes back. No engagement. No response. No.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah. Because I'm doing a poetry slam on Saturday in Omaha. The slam under the sun. So I'm going back. You're gonna
right back on the horse.
Yep. Get right back. Let's see.
Ranted about it 2 episodes ago, and we're right back on it.
Yep. So this will be interesting. This will be in Omaha. This is during their art festival type thing.
So is it a competition or just
it's more in a sense. This is just a slam. So the winner does get a cash prize. But it is just a kind of a regular slam. In that regard, there's not the representing, the state. That's kind of why that was such a bit and that might have been one of the hurdles, because all of a sudden I attempted one that had a big, heavy aspect to it. Yeah, and oh, this is a slam.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's see what we can do. So,
yeah. Well, hope you guys enjoyed our grilling each other. Basically, we didn't prepare those questions for each other. This was the first time reading them in front of each other. So I hope you guys kind of learned some hurdles, just kind of got a little more insight into who we were. This was the season finale of season 3. So we hope to see you guys in season 4. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.